Joining us now for our big close-up interview is International Affairs Advisor to Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, Caroline Glick. It is great to have you with us. We certainly appreciate your time tonight. A two-part question, Caroline. Number one, how does the strike fundamentally alter the power dynamics in the Middle East? And I guess the backup part of that question would be, could Iranian leaders finally accept the fact that they're not going to get a nuclear weapon?
Well, thanks. That's a very important question. Thanks for having me, Kevin. Look, this wasn't just a military operation, a joint U.S.-Israeli military operation. It was a pivot point for civilization's battle against barbarism. And for 46 years, the Islamic regime in Iran has been making advances for barbarism, terrorism throughout the globe. It built proxy armies all around Israel of its terror forces while building its nuclear weapons program and its ballistic missiles arsenal. And last night, when the U.S. joined the fight and destroyed Iran's three major nuclear installations, civilization started massively turning back the clock and making a severe blow to barbarism on behalf of freedom in this world. It's going to make a change for the better throughout the Middle East, for the entire Arab world, for Israel, and of course for international security. So this was perhaps the most meaningful, significant week since Israel started Operation Rising Lion on June 13th. And then when the United States joined in yesterday, it was probably the most significant week strategically for the Middle East, perhaps even since 1979.
Wow. Caroline, thank you for joining us. I'm Molly Line here. As we mentioned earlier, President Trump has questioned why there shouldn't be regime change in Iran. And Senator Lindsey Graham earlier today said that Israel is pushing for it. Watch.
So I talked to Bibi just a few minutes ago. He wanted me to urge the Iranian people to end this madness. Take this regime down and have a better life for yourselves. And second, he wanted me to tell the American people, Israel's not going to live this way anymore. They're not going to live under threat from Iran anymore.
Now, there are a lot of reports that the Ayatollah is hiding in a bunker, that he has already picked his own potential replacement. Caroline, is regime change, a real possibility in Iran?
Look, I think what we've done, we have two goals for our operation. One was to end the nuclear threat emanating from Iran by destroying its nuclear installations. That's largely been concluded, both as a result of the work that we did since June 13th and, of course, the incredible, awesome strike that the United States carried out under President Donald Trump yesterday. But the second one was taking out their ballistic missile arsenals and their capacity to build them, their industrial capacity to build them, as well as their launchers. And we're working very steadily towards accomplishing that goal as well, quickly, much quicker than we thought we would be able to accomplish it. Those two missions are our missions, but we believe that by accomplishing those missions, we're setting the conditions for the Iranian people to take up the mission that they actually took on themselves very early after the Islamic Revolution, which is to overthrow it. We see every year or two thousands upon thousands of Iranians risking death and often dying in order to try to overthrow this regime. And here we see the first time we have conditions that would enable them to do it. So it's not the point of Israel's operation, but it may well be a consequence. And now, with President Trump essentially saying that he supports the Iranian people, that may also give them the confidence to move forward. There's a lot of repression right now by the Iranian regime. They're arresting thousands of people for social media posts. I know that they've arrested several foreigners to try to blackmail Western countries, and they want to execute political prisoners. So when you look at these kinds of things, there's a lot of reason for Iranians to fear the regime today, just as they have for 46 years. But I think that the conditions today, as a result of the near accomplishment of both of the missions that we set out to accomplish, that the regime has never been weaker.
Caroline, as you very well know, the UN Security Council called an emergency meeting today in response to the strikes last night. Usual actors, Russia and China, and even the UN Secretary General this time used the opportunity to condemn the strikes. Listen.
Russia condemns in the most decisive terms the irresponsible, dangerous and provocative actions committed by the USA.
The actions of the United States seriously violate the purposes and principles of the UN Charter.
Give peace a chance. That call was not heeded.
In short, what is Israel's response? Is this more of the same? Is it consequential at all?
Look, I mean, Antonio Guterres could barely even issue a serious condemnation of the October 7th slaughter of our people in 2023. So it's not surprising that he would blame the United States for not lying on its back and allowing Iran to acquire nuclear weapons. This is the best chance that peace has gotten. Taking out Iran's nuclear installations, destroying their aspirations to become a nuclear armed state. That's the best chance that peace has for breaking out in the Middle East, and probably has had ever in the modern era. So I would say that he has everything backwards, and we're not surprised because the UN, particularly under Guterres, but we've seen it unfortunately, from Israel's perspective for decades, they always have everything backwards.
Caroline, Katie Pavlich here. It's great to see you. You know, the scenes of these direct hits of ballistic missiles in Tel Aviv and other parts of Israel are absolutely horrific. That continues. We saw the retaliation last night after the strikes on the nuclear sites by the U.S. So what is Israel's plan now in terms of keeping up the fight against Iran, and what is the strategy moving forward to keep the pressure on them so that you're not seeing more of those scenes inside of Israel?
Well, we've been, like I said, one of the two objectives is to destroy their ballistic missile program, not just their arsenal, but their industrial capacity, and also, most importantly, from the perspective of the footage that you're seeing from Tel Aviv and throughout the country of the destruction that they're causing with these ballistic missiles, is also to go after the launchers, because if they don't have launchers, they can't launch the missiles. And so we've gotten a very large chunk of their launchers taken out, destroyed, and we're continuing to hunt them down and destroy them, sometimes with missiles already attached to them and about to launch to Israel. Sometimes we just see them on the trucks that are moving them around, and we bomb them that way. But the launchers are a key objective of this operation, and we're accomplishing our objectives. And the other thing I would just add is, when you look at the scenes of destruction in Israel from Iran's ballistic missiles, you just have to think what would have happened